Hi, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Rachel, and today I am going to be doing sort of a wear test on the Magic Star setting powder and concealer. Now I have the shade Fair in the setting powder and the shade C6 in the concealer. I've already done a first impressions of this, but now today I have time to do a wear test. So that's what I'm going to do. I have about 15 minutes before I gotta leave the house, so this is just gonna be real quick, throw some shit on my face, and then gonna be gone for the day, and then I'm gonna check back in later at the end of the day. Alright, let's dive in.
First of all, we gotta have an appearance by the doggy. This one's Rambo. Say hi, Rambo. Aren't you a handsome boy? Mwah.
Start off with my normal primer. Make sure we're not skewing our results at all. Next, I prime my eyelids and my nose with my eyelid primer. Using eyelid primer on the nose really helps to prevent like foundation breaking up on your nose if your nose gets oily. Good tip. All right, for my foundation, I'm going to be going in with my Fenty Beauty foundation because I know this is one that's going to sit well on my face. I have the shade 150. I am also mixing it with a little bit of 260 now that I have a little bit of some color, because I just got a sample of this one. Because I have a little bit of color now that I, tanned like twice and went to Mexico. And then I'm also going to mix in a little bit of my LA Girl Pro Color Foundation Mixing Pigment to cool it down a little bit. Okay, next I'm going to be putting on my Magic Star Concealer. I have the shade C6. And I'm going to use it under my eyes, and I'm also going to spot conceal with this as well as do a little bit of highlighting. I have a pretty big spot on my face to conceal, so it's really going to be put to the test because I dug at my face at a cyst under the skin. Don't do that. 0 out of 10 would not recommend. Okay, so the concealer by itself, it went on very smoothly. And it looks beautiful. It's not like a flat matte finish. And it covered up my spot where my crater where I dug at my face. I mean, you can still tell it's there because, it's a scab, so it's like raised, but I mean, no, there's no obvious creasing except for where my face naturally creases, and there's really nothing you can do about that. You're not going to get rid of creases that just naturally exist. But it's not like collecting in those creases and like creasing in the creases, you know what I mean? Yeah, everything looks really smooth, so I'm going to go over it with some of my Magic Star concealer, my Magic Star setting powder in the shade Fair. And I'm not one to bake. I just like to, I'll put a little bit of a heavier, or I'll like use my beauty blender and put some heavier powder under my eyes here and like where it might settle into fine lines. But otherwise, I just do a light dusting, or it's not like a full bake. I think that's a waste of powder, personally. Okay, so now that I went in heavier under my eyes, in my smile lines, on my nose, on my eyelids, in my frown lines, and on my forehead where I might get some creasing, I'm just going to go in with my Mr. Right brush, and I'm just going to dust it all over my cheeks. And while I'm doing this, I'm also dusting off the excess from my half-assed bake, I guess you could call it. Now this is very powdery and easy to inhale, so like hold your breath while you're doing this, or don't inhale too hard. Because it hurts when it gets in your lungs. Or at least to me it does. Okay, my thoughts after initially applying, I've already done a first impressions on this, but it is a pretty matte finish, but it's not like too matte, where it's like a powdery matte. It's just like my face is matte, and as my oils come through, it's going to change that a little bit, probably. We'll see how well this absorbs oil and keeps oil at bay. There's not really a whole lot of creasing. There's really no creasing at all. I naturally crease under my eyes. There's nothing I can do about that. I don't have those dry patches that I had before because I've been using an eye cream. So now my eye isn't really suffering right here and gonna be all flaky and gross. So that's that. I'm gonna put the rest of my face on, which is really just gonna be mascara and brows. That's it. And then I will check back in later and let you know how it sat throughout the day. All right, see you in a little bit. My dudes, it has been 12 hours or so, and my makeup is still looking this good. Girl. Since my camera is cheap, you probably can't see very much. Let me move a little closer. Okay. Not that you'll be able to see any detail, but I mean the extent of this being covered up. It's still fairly covered. It's a little dark, but I don't think that's anything that's going to be perfectly covered. As for my under eyes on this, I have a little bit of product collecting in a crease, but not too bad. Nothing in the other eye, and nothing on my forehead, which is one major spot that creases is my forehead. And all over my face still looks really good. I am shook. Oh, even my lipstick still looks good. And this has lasted through coffee. I had Culver's for dinner, and then Culver's custard for dessert. And it's still looking like this. This is Beauty Bakerie. That's the good one. That's one to remember. Beauty Bakerie lipsticks last through the apocalypse. But as for the Magic Star setting powder and concealer, I'm here for it. I am living. I'm really living. And this concealer, I'm really glad that I got the shade that I did because it is still brightening, but it's not super light on me like the other concealer shades that I have in like my Tarte Shape Tape and my ColourPop concealers are both very light on me and very brightening. This one in C6 is a lot closer to my skin tone. And I like that there's olive undertones even in the pale shades for those of us that, you know, like when foundations look ashy. We're like, yes, give me that. If you would like to see another wear test video, click here to watch my video on the Norvina palette, an everyday glam look, as well as the wear test on the Pacifica Light foundation. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe before you go. See you in the next one.